Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking the VT Reedle Shot Serum, a Korean skincare sensation, which at one point was the world's best-selling anti-aging skincare serum. However, fast forward to this year, 2025, and it no longer appears in any of the top 10 bestsellers lists, and lots of content creators are saying they're removing it from their skincare routine. Well, what's really going on? I've been bombarded with questions from you guys asking for some intel on what exactly the situation is, and today's video, hopefully, will cover all of that. So sit back, relax, let's talk the future of the VT Reedle Shot. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share with you my honest thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And as always, this video isn't sponsored and it isn't in paid partnership. I know there have been a lot of sponsored videos alongside the VT Reedle Shot line, but this isn't one of them and never will be. I pride myself on my independence, so I turned down that coin in order to be able to speak from the heart and never the wallet. So if you appreciate truly independent skincare advice and recommendations, make sure to like, follow along for more, because we'd love to have you as part of this wonderful Mad About Skin community. I'd also love to know what your take is on the VT Reedle Shot line. I know so many of you guys out there have tried it and used it as part of your skincare routine. So I want to know, do you still use it? Sound off in the comments section below, and let's use the comments almost like a poll. If you're somebody that still uses this as part of your skincare routine and loves it, let me know by leaving the heart emoji. If you're somebody that maybe previously used it but no longer does, leave the cross emoji and state why. That way, we can survey the opinions of the Mad About Skin community, and I just honestly love to hear from you guys in the comments each and every single day. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So the VT Reedle Shot line hit shelves around 3 years ago and honestly became viral on day one. They use spicule technology, which are like little needles to help push the product, the ingredients, deeper into the skin in order to get enhanced results. Those results were amazing and they were immediate, which when it comes to topically applied skincare is fairly rare. You get an instant plumping, you get that overload of hydration, which people loved, and some of the other products in the range had other active ingredients such as vitamin C and glutathione, which worked a lot quicker than traditional vitamin Cs because, again, that spicule technology just got those ingredients to where they needed to be in order to deliver great results. People were wowed and the range grew and grew and grew, and I think now at time of filming there was about 25 or maybe 26 different products in this skincare line. People loved them, and like I say, at one point it was the world's best-selling anti-aging skincare serum. So what exactly went wrong? Well, I've done a little bit of research, done some deep dives and some digging into this, and I thought we could break it apart in today's video. Now, I have been a fan of the VT Reedle Shot since it launched. I used it, I put it through its paces, and I was really impressed. I then did a 12-month, 1-year update for you guys where I still said, actually, this is a core part of my skincare routine. I have more recently started to use it less, and there isn't any particular reason for that. There are some things that I think sit behind it, which I'm going to talk about in the next section of the video, but I wouldn't say there's any one moment where I thought, yeah, this is no longer working for me, this is not something I want. I think just some things happen organically that mean that our tastes, our skin, our things change, our approach to things change. I think that's what sits behind a lot of this. So I just wanted to put that front and center so you knew what my experience was with the VT Reedle Shot. I've never been paid to promote the product, unlike most content creators, and I very much came at this as a skincare enthusiast and someone that just genuinely loved the product. Now, if you look at the top 10 bestsellers list in 2025, the VT Reedle Shot won't feature anywhere. And this definitely got people talking online and speculating what the reason might be. You've also got a lot of content creators saying that they no longer use it in their skincare routines. Again, I think a lot of people got worried that maybe there's an underlying reason why that's the case and maybe that they should also remove it from their routines. Well, I'm here to say, absolutely not. If it works for you, continue to use it. But there might be some reasons why it's less popular today than it was, say, 12 months ago, and that's what we're going to discuss. First and foremost, let's just talk trends. I think, as with anything, skincare has trends. They come and they go. One product might be popular 1 minute, less popular another. And I definitely find that Korean skincare, particularly here in the West, is much more susceptible to trends and swings in those trends than maybe other mainstream skincare. You'll often see the latest viral or hyped ingredient and product, which is popular 1 minute, and then nobody mentions it the next. This is a fact of life in all industries, but I particularly find in Korean skincare this is more stark and the swings are greater. Because it became so viral and so instantly popular on launch, obviously it had further to fall. And in 2025, there are new, more viral ingredients and products. Things like PDRN, which is really popular, exosome technology, which seems to be one of the biggest trends coming into 2026. These have all kind of overtaken the spicule technology, which was in the VT Reedle Shot line. And people have just followed those trends. As a result, they've stopped using the VT Reedle Shot and they're looking to other products to fulfill their anti-aging needs and help to reach their goals. I don't think there's a right or a wrong, and I always say in skincare, use what works for you. If the spicules are doing it for you and getting the results, keep using them. If there's something else you want to experiment with, go with it. Trends come and go, and I think this is probably the biggest driving factor with why the VT Reedle Shot was so popular last year, but maybe isn't as popular this year. I think the second reason comes down to skin sensitivity. So these products contain spicules. Like I said, they're like little needles that push the product deeper into the skin in order to get enhanced results. You definitely get quicker and more effective results, but as a result, you can also get a greater risk of sensitivity. A lot of people that maybe didn't have particularly sensitive skin used them and found that actually over time it did increase sensitivity and they got more reactions to products that maybe they previously did. That's just because you're getting a quicker dose of whatever active ingredients are in the products because of those spicules. Now, for someone like me that has a very resilient skin type, that wasn't an issue. I think people that had very sensitive skin knew that maybe this wasn't the product for them anyway, so never tried it. It was the people in the middle that maybe had a touch of sensitivity, maybe, you know, had a little bit of a reaction to certain ingredients, but were fine with others, that used these and found that that sensitivity went into overdrive. This story then took over with people saying it was sensitizing the skin, and that's why a lot of people, even with resilient skin like myself, moved away from it. As with everything in skincare, you need to really use products that match your individual skin's needs and the outcomes that you want to see. I don't think the Reedle Shot line was ever going to be suitable for people with sensitive skin. And I think for people that can, in some circumstances, have skin sensitivity, probably should proceed with caution. But that doesn't mean that people like myself with resilient skin that's generally not prone to sensitivity can't use it and get wonderful results. But I think a narrative took hold that it was almost sensitizing people's skin and therefore should be avoided. That isn't the case, but as with everything, there's definitely nuance to it. I think the third, which is the first time I'm going to come across and say it's the brand's fault in all of this, is that they just released too many products. They had too many versions and variants of it. The original VT Reedle Shot was the one that went viral. And on the back of that, obviously the brand wanted to capitalize. And they started to launch different versions with different active ingredients. We had the one with PDRN, we had one with retinoids, we had one with vitamin C, with centella, with you name it. They had a version of it. And like I said, there's 25 or 26 options available now, and it just became overwhelming. People often made the mistake as well of layering these, so they'd use like 2 in one routine, which is a huge no-no because you're doubling down on that spicule and doubling down on the risk of sensitivity. That was never made particularly clear, and some people actually had a whole skincare routine made up of spicule-containing products. That was a disaster waiting to happen, but I think the brand could have done a better job at educating and kind of warning people against that. There was too much choice, and whilst I'm a huge fan of consumer choice in skincare, I think at some point, like, we almost step over into the realms of things being overwhelming, and that was definitely the case with the VT Reedle Shot line, and at that point I think a lot of people switched off. Too much choice, it became baffling and overwhelming, so they stepped away, and that definitely is the fault of the brand rather than any underlying trends. And then last, but by no means least, the challenges around fitting the products into your skincare routine. Whenever you have these new technologies, in this case spicules, you need to know how to use them, how to layer them. And spicules, obviously by their nature, push the product deeper into the skin. However, any other product that's already on the skin will also go with it. So if you're using something like a retinoid, you're going to get a greater penetration rate, could increase sensitivity. If you're using a standalone vitamin C, same thing applies. So lots of people were really wary about how to use this in their skincare routine. Should it go first? Should it go last? What can't you use it alongside? And again, it just always became a little bit too complicated, and that's where people turn off. They tune out because they think, I just don't want my skincare routine to be this complex. It should be fun, it should be enjoyable. If I'm stressing it and worrying about how to use and layer a product, it's kind of not worth it. That, I think, is really why I started to move away from the VT Reedle Shot line. There was no particular issues that I had around sensitivity or around choosing the one that I think was best for my individual skin's needs. I just found it a little bit complex to fit into my routine. Fundamentally, I want my skincare routine to be fun and enjoyable, and if I'm almost finding it difficult to incorporate, I naturally just stop reaching for those products as much. And that's something that happened organically maybe over the last 6 months. I just found myself reaching for it less and less, and now I don't feel like I particularly want to repurchase the product or keep it into my skincare collection. And that, like I say, wasn't like one moment where I thought, right, I'm done. It just happened gradually. I think that's the case for an awful lot of people. What I did want to get across in this video is these are all reasons why something is viral one minute and then less popular the other. It doesn't mean that there's some great big scandal, some huge safety concern around a product. I think people can often read too much into it. It's just a case of people naturally gravitating less towards a product, and that's why it finds itself falling down those bestseller rankings. I know there are those people that always had concerns around the safety of this spicule technology, which I said at the time was unfounded. There is nothing to say that any use of spicules is dangerous in the long term, but obviously you have to do what works for you, and if you have those concerns, it's probably not the right product for you. And I still think that recommendation stands. There's not been any big safety issue, recall that I've heard some people talk about online. Nothing like that. I think people have just naturally found themselves gravitating less towards the product, hence its fall and decline in popularity. And hopefully that really just covers everything. I'm sure that this feels almost anticlimactic because people were expecting like some big scandal, some big issue to emerge, and it hasn't. Like with a lot of things, trends, they come and go, popularity increases, decreases, it's all cyclical, and I'm sure that VT made their money on their Reedle Shot line while the going was good, and they're still selling units, just not in the same multi-million bulk that they were just 12 months ago. So what do you think? Having watched this video, what do you think the main reason is? Let me know in the comment section below. And do you still use the product, or is it something that you now avoid? Take part in that poll. Heart emoji if you still use it and love it. Cross emoji if you're somebody that's moved on. For me, it was just a gradual reaching for it less and less, which ultimately led to me realizing one day, oh, I don't actually use that in my skincare routine anymore. It was as simple as that. And hopefully this video has just helped everyone kind of get to the bottom of some of the news headlines and stories doing the rounds online at the moment. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.